Welcome back, everybody, to Shooting Gallery New England. This week we got another episode of how to, meaning this is how we're going to learn how to disassemble and reassemble our 1911 handgun. It is safe, don't worry, it is safe. Now, another good aspect of this video you're going to see is the stock Ruger takedown wrench that's going to show that it's actually trash. So we're going to look at the Brownell's bushing wrench. So let's get down to the tabletop and see how we can do this, okay? Now we're going to be down at the tabletop. I just want to show you guys right now, I am kind of sitting adjacent to the camera just so it kind of works better for me. It's a kind of a two-handed job. Now when you're going to be taking down a 1911 firearm, just for safety's sake, let's make sure the weapon is clear. There's nothing in the chamber and the magazine well is empty. So that's usually job number one. Now when you're going to be taking this down, there's a few simple things that you got to be clear of. One, you want to make sure that you have the proper tools. So Ruger will supply this little mini 1911 bushing, which is going to take this part. It's going to help take that part down to get the slide off and the recoil spring and all that. Now, I'm going to be flat honest with you. You can tell I have ginormous hands. So with a guy like me who has ginormous hands, I can grip a 1911 very well. Okay, I like the feel of it in my hand. It feels firm. When I have this little dinky little armorer's tool, which, okay, whatever, you know, that's what the company sends. Now, this is what we're going to do with this little dinky armorer's wrench. We're going to take it. We're not going to use that. What we're going to do is, I always suggest, tell everybody to do it. Don't go for the Wilson Combat. Don't go for Les Bear or Nighthawk Custom Tooling. It's like you're paying for the name. I use this Brownell's 1911 Armorer's Wrench. So this has for Series 70 and Series 80. This is a Series 7. I believe this is a Series 70. But I highly recommend this. It's very easy to use. It gives you a better purchase. So again, with my ginormous hands, it's easier for me to grip it to get it right onto the bushing wrench. Now another couple things I want to recommend is, obviously I'm wearing glasses right now, so you don't want things flying out at you. I'm going to demonstrate how you have to be safe when you're taking apart this gun, because there's one part that everybody eventually will send flying into the ceiling or across the room or off the bench, and it is your bushing cap right here. This little depressed cap right here. I've sent this thing flying into my ceiling. I've sent it flying across my room. Just be careful of it. So this is what we're going to do. The firearm has been checked. We're not really going to need this armorer's block, but I always keep it around just in case. So first thing is, you're going to have this. I'm going to use my Visin NC Star as a pointer. You're going to have these two notches right here. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see. Now, you're going to have these two notches right here. One here and one here. When you rack the slide back, you want to make it so, first of all, this part is where you're going to take the takedown lever out of. But we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, so this is what we're going to do. So we're going to put it back. Slide that back. Okay, so we're in full view. Now, obviously, it's been checked. So this is where this tool comes in handy. You're going to take this, use this side. It's a little bit bigger. It's the same size as the one you have. So I always press it, get a firm purchase on it, push it down, and then slide it over just a little bit. Okay, so this is where you can send this end cap flying. As you can tell right here, my bushing is holding this depressed spring. So, best thing to do is two hands on this, guys. So, you want to push this down just ever so slightly and move it over and grab it with this, grab this finger, gently let it go. As you can see, now the recoil spring and the bushing cap is right here. It's under a lot of tension. That's a lot of tension right there. That's how it gets shot down up into the ceiling. Now this is where it comes in handy now. Now the tension is let off the recoil spring. Like I said before, we want to get this notch right here to the point where we can take it out. So I'm going to do it a little bit backwards, but you're going to get the point here. So you can move this, put this to the side. You don't have to press the beaver tail at all. Get it right to the point where it's right there. And on the other side, there's going to be a little dimple. You press that dimple, and boom. Your slide stop, slide release comes right out. Now, you're actually able to take the slide off the gun. So you just take your recoil spring. There you go. Boom. Take your frame. Put it to the side for a second. Now, this is where you can take your recoil spring. This is just a single guide rod. It's not a one piece. There is debate on if you want a two piece or single piece. I always it's not a full length either. It's a very short guide rod. I do want to upgrade it. But at the same time, I'm not going to get into semantics. It's all user preference. For this SR 1911, this is just the guide rod that it comes with. Now, you're going to take your bushing. There's a little bit of a slot in here for this to stay attached. So as you move your barrel out, you want to make sure you get it just like this. So I can move it to the side at like a, I'm going to say that's like a 30 degree angle. Move it like that. Take your bushing out and then get it over the, you're going to have barrel lugs in here, and then you get your barrel out. Now, when you're taking the barrel out, these lugs, just make sure you lift it up just a little bit. And then from there, you are essentially field stripped a SR 1911 45 pistol. That's essentially what you're looking at right there. Now, what we're going to do is now we're going to do the reverse of it. Now, again, you really don't need the frame. You don't. So put that aside. Now, this is the tricky part. Everyone always gets mixed up on this, so obviously barrel goes in first. Okay, and at this point you can see for wear patterns, this is a stainless steel, so it's going to show anything. Now, your barrel loop, this is where also it gets kind of tricky. There's a little bit of a curve on this part of the guide rod. Make sure this curve is pretty much opposite the barrel. So slide it in. There you go. Make sure your barrel loop is forward. Boom. Make sure that guide rod is perfectly on the barrel. So now what we're also going to do is make sure your barrel bushing is firmly seated. So this is where, again, people mess up. They try and skip a step. So there you go. You don't really need to take the whole bushing out. So you want to make sure your bushing is pretty much on this side. So again, think of this is facing you. So this would be your right side. If this is facing you, this is your left side. 180 degrees left. So your barrel bushing is right here. All right. So now, don't try and take your end cap, push it in that way. It's not going to work. The spring's going to get all messed up, and it's going to start kinking, and that's when you're going to have a lot of feeding issues. It's a beginner mistake. That's why I'm making this video for you guys who are just getting this firearm. You want to see how you take it out. Now, always make sure, again, the barrel loop is right there, resting apart. So you're going to take your frame now. Slide the frame and slide together. Again, make sure that everything's kind of working properly. That little guide rod is there. Okay, so we're going to slide this in. Okay, that's working. Now, we're going to opposite that side, and we're gonna make it so, there we go, there we go, and this is a little bit of play and pull. First takedown lever. Now this is where that term idiot scratch comes. Be very careful on this part of the takedown lever. Let's pull this, focus in a little bit here. Be very careful when it comes to your slide stop, slide release. You want to get it into this little notch right here so it lines up with that notch on the slide. Now, lift it up and over and slide in. You're gonna get it. Some people who push it way too much in, you're gonna get a little scrape right here. Try and avoid that. Be very careful. I'm gonna do this quite fast. So make sure it's all lined up, and then it's kind of a play and pull. You want to make sure you got that covered. And there we go. Boom. Now that your slide release is in, you want to take your end cap. Without using the tool, this is how this works. You want to work it, then take the tool. See, that's where you're going to have this end cap go flying. Slide that over. Okay, get it to where you're like this. So when I was about to show you exactly how to finish the reassembly, my battery died in my camera. So you are right here where you use this tool to pop it back in place, and make sure, again, adding pressure on this side of the wrench on that bushing, push it down, then slide it over. You're gonna hear a little bit of a click. Boom, and your 1911 is officially put back together. It's not that hard. Obviously, you know, have the proper tooling. You know, you're gonna get a little bit of marring, but the good thing is Brownells is very good with getting tools out to you. So if this thing gets all chewed up from your bushing or whatever it is, because it is just plastic, but at the same time, it's non-marring, it's not gonna ruin the finish of anything. But also, it gives you a little bit extra purchase. I've tried doing it when I first got the gun, and I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna go back to my Brownells. I'm not shilling for Brownells, so if you guys are thinking that, that's not how this is. It's, I support people that support the Second Amendment. I will purchase my tools from people that support the Second Amendment. And what is more Second Amendment than a Ruger SR 1911 45 ACP full-size government model and using a Brownells bushing wrench? And the only reason I say it is because when I was at SDI, as you can see from the mat, again, not shilling, just at the same time, these are the people that taught me my craft. You always want to make sure you're comfortable when you're working. You want to make sure you're safe, and using tools like this will make you safe. So let's get back up top, and we will finish out this video. Thank you again for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and make sure you hit the notification bell in the lower right hand corner of the screen so you can be notified when a new video goes live. I will hope to see you guys soon. Don't forget, every week, Shooting in the Woods podcast, either Monday or Tuesday. So enough yapping, let's get back up top and we'll finish. Alright guys, so as you can tell, it's really not that hard to disassemble, to clean your 1911 handgun. This is going to go for all models, including, you know, your commander, your officer size. Some models, like I said, will have different bushing styles. Some might not have a bushing if it has a matched barrel. I know on some they're going to have a matched barrel that doesn't have a bushing, but obviously read your owner's manual before you're going to attempt to disassemble your firearm. So again, and if you want to find out where you can get this, just go check out Brownells under the gunsmithing section. I'll have a link. They're not affiliated with me, they don't pay me anything. I just like to support the people that support the Second Amendment. So we'll see you next week, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, and have a good one.